If this is your first time here at the channel, Khalila's going to tell you what to do. Yeah, look how I led into that.
I thought you just weren't going to let me talk. Okay. All right.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So we're here with another review of episode 9 of Black Lightning. Once again, in this episode, we're going to go over the high points and things that we really liked and probably even some things that we disliked. And then we'll probably even touch on, where we kind of think the next episode is going to go from here. So stay tuned.
If you're new to this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and then also go ahead and hit the bell to get notifications every time we do a new video. And I promise you, we are going to start doing more videos. We're getting it together, folks. We're getting it together.
Let's get into the review. I like this episode. I think it was a really, really solid episode. But with that said, and I don't think this makes it a bad episode, there were things in it that I just didn't like. Particularly with, I think I found the two characters that irk me the most in this show. I feel like every DC show has has at least a couple characters that just irk you.
Irk you?
No, I think, no, in all honesty, if I named it off right now, so Arrow has the other team and sometimes Diggle. Basically anybody that's not.
I can't wait till we do our season finale of Arrow because
yeah,
I'm irritated.
But in Arrow, in all honesty, it's everybody that's not named Oliver that irks me at one point or another. It's been 6 seasons.
Felicity.
Yeah, so it's usually anybody that's not Oliver. In Flash, it's usually Iris. There's been times when Iris kind of irks me. And then in Supergirl, it's Kara.
Supergirl, it's everybody.
In Supergirl, it's Kara. No, it's just Kara that irks me. But in Black Lightning, I think I found the characters. Doesn't mean that they're bad characters. It's just sometimes the decisions they make or how they respond to certain things.
You're gonna say already.
Just irk me, and that is Anessa and Jennifer. They both. And even Lynn to an extent, but Lynn I've come around on. Lynn's kind of come around, so I've come around on her. Anessa and Jennifer continue to have either responses or they have, in Anessa's cases, actions that just irritate the crap out of me. And we get a lot of that in this episode. Just so you guys know, so we kind of start with the episode. I actually like the intro to this episode, where it's Jefferson kind of just taking out all his frustration out on this punching bag. And he's going and replaying the conversation that him and Gambi had in the last episode, where Gambi kind of, spilled the beans on the type of, basically the influence that he had on Jefferson's, on the death of Jefferson's father.
Right.
So we see, I just liked that because I think there's a lot of times Jefferson is always holding it together. He's always keeping himself in check, and to see that something really something that's really important to him is really bugging him that much, and that he's in a sense he lost control for a second was really interesting to see, because it's a flip side to his personality that we never really get to see. But leading into that, from that scene, we go into where we kind of left off with Jennifer, right, which is her reaction to how she feels about potentially having powers. And I was a little surprised how they originally started it, because it's almost like she was in denial, even though in the last episode she was somewhat excited and sometimes somewhat freaked out, but then in this, the way they started with her in this episode, she was kind of more so in denial. At least that's the vibe I got.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
She's kind of mopey and still in pajamas. It's weird.
Yeah, she was I don't know what she's going through.
Honestly, it was her reaction was as if she had just went through a terrible breakup.
Yeah. And
she was I don't want to get out of bed. Life is terrible.
Well, at first I thought they were gonna explain that maybe she was depressed about Khalil and the powers thing, right, but they never said anything about Khalil, so then I was just really confused.
Well, they did bring up Khalil.
Did they?
Yeah.
Was I out of the room?
Maybe. Khalil tends to because we have kids.
Khalil
tends to walk back and forth, and sometimes she misses a couple things. But yeah, they did have there was a scene where she brings up Khalil briefly. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. Because it's actually within that scene that's where she started to irk me. But yeah, so there's this conversation between her and Anessa where it's just where Anessa essentially, and this is where Anessa irks me. Anessa doesn't think like ever, and it's really starting like I get that it's her character and it's her persona, but it's starting to irk me like that she never thinks anything through. Like instead of possibly thinking, or maybe even I don't know, giving your parents a heads up, like hey. I'm not the only one with powers. Jennifer has powers too. We might need to have a talk. No, Anessa decides to just storm in her room, pressuring her to talk about it. And when she doesn't want to talk about it, she basically just lifts her bed to the ceiling. Like, who does that? I'm an older, like, I have siblings. And even I would not be that irresponsible just to be like, hey, I'm going to lift you up in the sky and freak you out even more. Like, that is...
I thought it was funny.
It was funny. But at the same time, it's just like, does this child think? And she's supposed to be the smart one.
She's book smart.
She lacks serious common sense. I mean, that's my feeling. Let me know what you guys think. I think Anessa lacks serious common sense and just plain out judgment, like understanding situations and understanding like how they should probably be executed. I think she seriously lacks that ability. But it's basically. We deal with Anessa spilling the beans about everything. Her powers, the fact that Jefferson is Black Lightning, not even giving Jefferson the chance to talk to Jennifer. So Jennifer, I think, I like this. Jennifer had a very natural response, which is what you would expect from the younger sibling, which is, I can't believe you've been lying to me my entire life. Which is, like, you had one kid that was just excited about it, but then you have another kid that's another natural reaction, which is, yeah, how could you lie to me my entire life and you preach to me about being honest and truthful?
Right.
So we go through that whole drama and dilemma, and fortunately, I liked how Jefferson and Lynn work together, despite them being divorced. It's like they
might as well just be married.
They might as well, because they co-parent.
Hey, they're kind of like we were. Side note, we were divorced. Yeah. And got remarried, but we'll talk about that later.
Maybe in another video. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, because we've never really told you guys anything about us. Maybe we'll do that in another video.
We should.
But, man, there's a bunch of side conversations in this video. But yeah, I liked that scene as well, because there's a like, as much as it annoys me that Anessa never thinks anything through, there's a real realism there where she's constantly being corrected on the fact that, hey, you're still not thinking things through.
Right.
Whether it's her on the streets trying to be Thunder, or whether it's just her in everyday life. Like, dude, you don't think. You just act. I think even going back to the episode where she broke up with that one chick, like, even Lynn kind of told her, like, you're that type of person where you don't really process anything, you just move on to the next thing.
Pretty much.
And I think that's very true about her character. So it's refreshing, and it brings a certain level of realism to the fact that that her parents are constantly hammering her with this. Yeah. You know, and now that her parents, or now especially her dad's just not her dad anymore, like they're like partners. So he's constantly hammering her.
Yeah.
So I like that whole conversation. I like that whole dynamic. Before I continue, is there anything that, I don't know, within those first couple scenes that stood out to you that you really liked?
Not the first couple, but okay. You know, I was kind of in and out. So.
Right. True.
Children.
So from that, one thing that I actually did like, another thing that I liked about the episode is Gambi. So reintroducing Gambi, yes. And Gambi is basically essentially on this road of redemption. Thank you. I was actually struggling with the word. You jumped in there right at the right time. Redemption, yeah. Gambi is definitely on this road of redemption, and he essentially is trying to work from another angle, because basically he's gotten Jefferson into this mess with people hunting him down as Black Lightning, that he's trying to figure out who's hunting him, what type of weapons they're using. He's trying to find out as much information as he can, and I can't not like Gambi, because even when he's shady, he's so slick with it. He's so he's such like an OG with it.
It's true.
You know, breaking into dude's car and poisoning him. Like, he didn't think twice about it. Like, there's a certain level of bad, like, just smoothness to Gambi that's pretty cool. And I think it's something that, like, none of the other shows have. Like, there's always, I think in all the shows, there's that older veteran, You know, Arrow has Captain Lance. Flash has Joe Smith or Joe West. I was about to say what?
Joe Smith.
I mean, it's common, but Joe West, and then obviously Supergirl has Martian Manhunter. But so in this show, it's more so that it's Gambi, and Gambi is just he's cut from a different cloth when you look at those other people of influence in those other shows. Mm-hmm. So I really like Gambi in that sense. Even though I may not agree with all his decisions, I like the way he carries himself, and the fact, and I truly do believe him though. Whenever he has those scenes, which he has one with Anessa, where he's explaining to her why, not going into complete detail, but explaining to her why him and Jefferson aren't getting along, but also expressing like, look, while we may not get along, I care about your family very much.
Right. And
I think that's very true. I think sometimes even in real life, we have family or friends or whatever that may make decisions or make poor decisions. And not because they wanted to hurt us, but in some way or another, they wanted to protect us. So I think that's really kind of something that a lot of people can relate to when it comes to Gambi's character.
That's true. And then Jefferson and what is that police officer's name? Henderson. They're actually working together. Black Lightning and Henderson.
Yeah, and I like that dynamic too. Because it's
pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's very similar to how I'm gonna keep comparing shows because I think there's a lot of comparisons in this episode to other DC shows. Mm-hmm. It's very similar to how Oliver and Captain Lance eventually.
That's true.
They went from hating one another to working together, and I think we might see that's a little sped up with Black Lightning and Henderson, mm-hmm. but it is cool to see that development, and I was getting a little worried at times in this episode about Henderson because Henderson has a pretty small role, but it's important in this episode where Black Lightning has him basically letting him know like, hey, you have some dirty cops in your department. You need to figure out who these people are, so I know who, so that we both can know who we can trust in your department. Right. Which I also think is interesting because it goes back to the first episode. When Jefferson gets pulled over and he's kind of racially profiled by some cops.
Yeah.
And Henderson tells him like, I'm gonna look into this for you. And so it shows that there's a level of griminess in this police department on two fronts. From a racial standpoint, but also just like natural being corrupt and wanting to profit off of crime. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really interesting too. Which leads us into the next scene that just irked me. This was not my favorite scene. I could not wait for this scene to be over. And that is the conversation between Lynn and Jennifer. It started funny, and I actually kind of liked the start of the conversation.
That was funny.
Like when Jennifer basically tries to walk away from Lynn. And any of you who have, I'm not even going to say black parents, but just any type of parent that demands respect, that's a no-go. Like when your parent tries to get your attention and you going to give them the silent treatment and try and walk away, Lynn wasn't having none of it. None of it. I had a flashback in my head.
I was about to say, I kind of thought about my mom.
Yeah, like, if anything, Jennifer got off easy because my mom would have snatched me by the back of my neck and it would have been over. But, so that, the way Lynn approaches the conversation had me intrigued, but I don't know if it's just the way it was written or, I don't know. But Jennifer gets very, very emotional about the fact of her having powers, and I actually expected this from her.
She's a teenage girl, though.
I get it.
I don't know why that hurt you so much.
No, because I think it was a little over the top. I got, and I actually I think I even said this in the last video, I expect her to have this feeling of hey, I just want to be normal, because Jennifer constantly has that,
which that played out exactly how you said.
Yeah, she wants to be normal, and that's fine, and I think she could have had that conversation with her mom without being Titanic emotional.
But she's a teenage girl, so
dude, it was a little too much for me.
Titanic
for me, it was just all right, I get it.
Hi.
I get it. You want to be normal. You want to do normal things. You want to have a normal life. You want to go to college. You want to get married. But what really broke it for me, because I was holding on. I was like, all right, I'm here with you. The tears are a little much, but I can. When she broke out and asked the question about, can I have kids?
Yeah, that's funny.
What does that have to do with anything?
It has to do with everything. If she has powers and she's wanting to get married and have kids in the future, can she have them?
Jefferson had kids?
Okay,
Your daddy had kids. Your daddy had you.
Lynn said she doesn't know, so you don't know.
Right.
Her powers are.
I think that was stupid on Lynn's part because your husband had these 2 kids. Why would you tell her I don't know?
Because that's how it was written.
That is stupid. If she was gonna tell her I don't know, she could have told her I don't know, but that has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with your powers. It's just some people have kids, some people don't. That's a fact. That is an actual fact.
Well,
why did it have to be tied to her powers?
Why would she say yes though? I mean,
Why would she?
know.
No, but I would say I don't know. I would have said yeah. I'd be like, yes, your father had you. Like, if anything, I thought she was gonna say, would I have kids that have powers? Because maybe I could have understood Jennifer not wanting her kids to have powers.
Understand a teenage girl's mind,
man.
And you're gonna have to get to because you ain't got that long until.
I'm just saying, it was stupid. It was a certain level of like that level of emotion was a little much for me. For an episode, like, there's been some pretty dark things that have happened in this episode, and like that was just like for that to be the scene where somebody was gonna break down crying. I was like, all right, this is a little much. But like I said, I understood where Jennifer was coming from. The fact that she wants to be normal, the fact that she doesn't want to be a superhero, the fact that like the last time she took a stand, the way she looks at it, the last time she took a stand, which is when she brings up Khalil got shot and he ended up paralyzed. So she definitely has a warped view of justice that is very different from Anessa. Do I think she'll eventually come around? Absolutely. But I understand her. I do. I understand her argument. I just thought it was a little over the top. I ain't need all that.
All right.
Like I honestly feel like you would have handled that conversation with our daughters really well. I don't think you'd be like, girl, please. Like, you can't have kids. What made you think you can't have kids? I had you. Like, anyway.
That probably would have been how that conversation
See?
went, though.
Exactly. Any normal parent would have just been like, what? How do you think you got here? Anyways.
Oh, my goodness.
It's funny how those are the scenes that stand out because there is action in this episode. There's a lot of action.
There's a lot of action.
And another thing that I like about the show is like the level of detective work that is going on with Black Lightning and Thunder, or Jefferson and Nessa, because they're still trying to clear Jefferson's name. They're still trying to get information. They're actually now starting to dive into Jefferson's father's case, what he was looking into. So there's a lot of that in this episode, and we even get to see them team up together for the first time. We see Anessa get her suit for the first time, and we see them basically team up, and they go kick butt, and they're tear down.
They're a really good father-daughter team. It's really cute.
Yeah, they go take down this green light lab, and it's awesome, and it's a good action scene. But I think honestly, this is probably one of the few episodes where everything but the action stood out. Like, the action was there, but a lot of other things just stood out, and I thought it was way more impactful than the action scenes. So I think it's really going to be interesting to see what kind of happens going forward. I think we'll continue to see Jennifer struggle with, just wanting to be normal and maybe trying to suppress her powers. And I wonder if there'll be a backlash from that, of her trying to suppress her abilities, because, it's like Anessa said, it's a part of you. So if you try and continue to suppress your powers, I wonder if they could start having this type of negative backlash. Whether she starts, her powers start going crazy at random times, or because she's not trying to control them, if she starts having issues with that, which is something I could easily see.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the other thing is when is Gambi going to come back into the fold? I think that's another thing that we'll definitely be on the lookout for. I'm still waiting for Anessa's big screw up. Like, I am.
No, I don't want her to have a big screw up.
I just, like, even in her fight scene, there were times where I'm just like, she's hitting really hard, and I think she might accidentally kill somebody. Like, I don't think she's going to kill somebody, but I just think
so.
She doesn't think, and she allows her emotions to fuel her, so I could see her make a mistake that could potentially, if it doesn't harm her, harm somebody else.
You might be right.
Which leads me into another thought that I have when watching this episode. I think I'm going to start setting up, I think I have a list of people that might die next in this show. Like, not like in the next couple episodes, but like before the season's over, I think somebody else important is going to die. And so far on this list, I have Lynn, Gambi, and Henderson. I feel like one of them is going to go.
I'm sure Henderson, but Lynn? You think Lynn's going?
I think honestly, I think it's either Lynn or Gambi. I think it's one or the other. I don't think they'll both stick around for the longevity of the show. Mm-hmm.
The mama?
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Mm-mm. And honestly, it would create a great amount of drama for the next season.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope you're wrong.
I'm not. I'm just saying those are the three people that I think I have on a kill watch.
Well, now you've got me scared to watch the next episode.
Yeah. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying it's gonna happen in the next episode. I'm just saying at some point in time in this series or in this season, I could see somebody else accidentally take a bullet. Or something. Doesn't necessarily have to be a bullet, but something happened. So yeah.
That's terrible.
Well, I mean, and honestly, if you look at the way, and I mean, once again, this is a DC thing. You look at the way,
true.
You look at the way
Oliver's
they like to.
mom is dead.
Well, no, I was gonna say you look. Yeah, I was gonna say you look at the way they torment their
Flash's
heroes.
dad is dead.
Yeah,
after his mama did already died.
They like to torment their heroes.
They do.
They like to have their
Kara's
heroes.
dad, adopted dad, is gone.
He's not dead though. He's just
that's why I said gone.
But I mean, yeah, they
dead.
They got rid of Mon-El for a little while, then they brought him back, and then they brought him back with a wife.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where we stopped watching.
That was funny. That's what she gets.
But that was so sad.
That's what she gets. But yeah, I'm expecting something bad. Like Jefferson's gonna have to carry some type of heavy weight into the next season. And I feel like it's going to be like the death of somebody important.
If Lynn dies, I'm blaming this guy.
What do you mean? I didn't write it.
Yeah,
Blame the writers.
And I'm still going to blame you. You spoke it into the universe.
No, I didn't. They wrote that out on the script way before I said anything. But yeah, that's going to basically wrap it up for this episode. Like Kalila said in the beginning, we do have another video planned.
We have several.
We have several. Well, I think the next one we're going to jump into, since Infinity War is coming out soon.
Already have tickets.
I hope y'all have yours. Look, I'm just telling you. I got mine. Obviously, when that movie comes out, we'll do another, reaction or review right after the film. Yes. But prior to that, Marvel's done a really good job leading up to Infinity War. So I think it'd be a really good job for us to do our own individual lists of top Marvel movies, over this span of time.
Which we've done
off camera. A lot. And we do, actually, I think we do it like every time a Marvel movie comes out.
Yeah, we do. So we're going to do an official list.
I want to do a top 10. I think 5 is too easy. We do 5 all the time. And I think at this point we know what each other's top 5 is. So I think we should do a top 10. Ooh. Yep, put some thought into it. But that's going to be... So look forward to that video. I think we'll do that video this weekend.
We keep saying that. We actually have
we'll do it. So keep that in mind.
We should do it.
Start thinking about
to eat.
I don't know about all that. I want to eat.
I tried, y'all.
Look, y'all don't want to see me snacking and while we're doing this. Like it's not a pretty sight. Got me shoving nachos and stuff in my face. Like, no, it ain't cute. But yeah, so look forward to that. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how you guys, because I feel like this is one of those topics, like I have a number of conversations with my friends about this, and we have entirely different, I mean, we do top 5 most of the time, but we have entirely different top 5s. And so I think it's going to be really cool to see, for you guys to see our top 10, and then for us to see your guys' top 10.
Are we set on the 10?
Yeah, we're doing 10. You know how many movies there's been?
I know, that's why I don't want to do 10.
You'll be alright. Kalila has some interesting ones, and like she has some that I can't believe that are in hers. Like how you feel about some of the movies. I'm not gonna spoil nothing, but how you feel about certain movies and certain characters, I'm surprised.
What do you have a problem with?
Anyways, this video is going longer and longer than it's supposed to.
Alright, so like we said in the beginning, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I did a little different today.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like, comment, share, subscribe.
And we will catch you guys on Saturday. Or Sunday, probably is when the videos don't get up. Probably.
You really had to give them a day.
Oh yeah, because we're doing this video.
Okay, well, we're going to do another video. We don't know what day, but we're going to do another video. So we'll see you before Tuesday.
Facts. All right, y'all. Later.